I am Jess Sands, the founder of a network of military spouses, partners, and other halves. So yeah, I was just lonely, and I love talking about business, and I love networking, but it didn't work with the fact that we were going to be moving every 10 minutes.
The pressure as well when you move. Pressure is also, we've got to reinvent ourselves and make new friends. You might not know the area, you don't know anybody. Having a career or a role or a company or something that's completely separate to anything else, for my mental sanity that's completely outside being a military spouse, is really important to me. Putting money aside, obviously money is important. Is that something that resonates with you, and is that something that people talk about in your network? Because it's massive, your network, right?
Yeah, there's over 1,400 of us. Yeah, it's really, in fact, we don't really talk about military life at all in the network, because we all get it, we all understand it, but it's not as important to us. I think they've got their platform, they're serving people, they're good, they're covered, their entire lives revolve around the military, and a little bit of ours too. So we don't need to talk about that, we just talk about business. And it's so important for me to have my own business, because it makes me more than just my husband's wife, which sounds so surreal to anybody else, but you're right, we move if we choose to move, or for a weekend. I think for either of us, we lose a little bit of a sense of our identity and just become that person's wife or husband or partner, whoever we are. And it's really important that you maintain something that's yours. And that's why having a business is so important, or even having a career. If I could go back, I'd probably pick the career route, because that's got to be easier than this.
I don't think it is. I think it's just as complicated. You know, if you're moving around, or if you're, like you said, it's not just about moving either. It's about deciding to stay. Weekending. My husband and I did a stint where he was weekending. It was awful, because I was just shattered all the time, and you're a single parent, and the same problems apply, I think.
Yeah.
In terms of the kinds of people that are in your network, and the kinds of people that are setting up in business, they come from a variety of different backgrounds. Give me an example of the types of people, the types of maybe educational backgrounds or business backgrounds, and the kind of companies they run.
Anything you can think of. The strange thing about it is the fact that we are lumped into this sort of military wife, army wife tag, and yet we could not be more different.
Agreed.
They are, there's a lot of service businesses, because service businesses are a bit more sort of movable. There's some amazing, predominantly women. We have a few boys. There's veterans who have been sort of all kinds of air traffic controllers and battlefield engineers, anything you can think of. And the businesses that they're creating are fantastic in their own right. It's like their second careers. So there's people that there's a lovely, she's a military tailor.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Brilliant. Well, there's two that I can think of that are military tailors, but she also does wedding dresses, but beautiful work. It's amazing. We've got military artists, lovely Gillian Jones does military art. So, those boring art that you normally get from the military. Yeah. She creates a beautiful version that still has the same effect.
That's really cool.
Then there's the obvious things like accountants and VAs and graphic designers like me, but literally anything you can think of. There's a lady that does goat yoga.
Shut up.
There's beauty brands. Honestly, coffee grinders, people that make coffee and teas, and
this is what I'm saying. This is like people that have created something out of the ashes. Like in a situation that is not ideal. Obviously, there are loads of positives about military life, and I actually say that to people all the time. Like the fact that I get a ready-made community. Not everybody in the community is my cup of tea, but if you had a problem, you could knock on your neighbours. So in a way, it's sort of stepping back to the 1950s in the sense of community, and I mean that in a positive way. And the fact that my kids can play out with other kids, but people are rustling up amazing businesses out of nothing in a situation that's not ideal. I mean, what an incredible talent pool that is. That is resilience in abundance, right?
It's so impressive. I've got a quote that I put in everything. It's if you think the UK armed forces are impressive, you should hear what their spouses, partners, and other halves are doing. Because yes, they're epic and brilliant. My husband's a pilot. That's quite funky. But what I'm doing is just exciting. And it's such a shame that they are just highlighted, and the perception is that we do nothing when we're so cool. Because that's the reality. You attract people
really
that
cool.
are similar. So cool. If you're a high-powered person in the military, or if you have that ethos of just doing good and doing well and achieving stuff, you're going to be attracted to people that are similar to you. So we're both going to be doing cool things. It's just that we're a little bit in the shadows, which I don't think is fair.